Questions. We have tons of them. What if some of those questions can be answered with a simple email? Now is that time, and welcome to Chat with Charlie. Host Stephanie Lynn is a certified spiritual life coach and psychic medium. She will work together with Spirit to answer both your submitted and live questions. Not only will Stephanie be providing you with insight, but also interviews with amazing guests. Now, your host of Chat with Charlie, Stephanie Lynn.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. You are listening to the Chat with Charlie show. I am your host, Stephanie Lynn, and chances are you found us on WLTK-DB. So I'm really excited for today because you're the guest. Spirit's the guest. Today, there's not any designated topic. We're just kind of going to go on some spirit-led conversation. I do have some things I want to talk about. I know a lot of viewers often wonder, how do we develop our intuition? How do we work on those things? So that's kind of going to be my main focus, but please, stay involved, drop in your questions. I would love to answer them. I want to tell you a little bit about what's coming up on the show in the next couple weeks. And also today, to let you guys know, the show is going to be a little bit shorter than normal. I apologize, but good news. You'll get to see me later this evening with Rob Thompson for the debut episode of The Universe. So don't freak out. I know it's not a full hour with me, but please come back tonight at 6 Central Standard Time and check out the debut show of The Universe. I have an appointment today that I can't quite renegotiate, so I have to attend to that. But coming up on the show, so let's talk about next week. I know a lot of people are really excited about this. You have seen Ellie on the show. She is a reoccurring guest. She will be coming back in, and we're going to do kind of a special, I guess you would call it, on the Chat with Charlie show, the last Thursday of every month. And so it's called In the Mix with Steph and Ellie. And we're going to talk about the metaphysical, the things behind the veil that kind of start to creep into society, into mainstream, into articles. Some very fascinating articles that we have found to talk about, and some topics. So throughout, the month, good morning, Diana. Thank you for tuning in. Please feel free to send in some articles you might find, some things along those lines. Good morning, Angela. Good morning, Michelle, that you may want to have us look at, have us discuss. Good morning, Therese. Thank you for tuning in. And we'll put those on the topics for our show. So some really interesting articles all across the world about metaphysics kind of bleeding into mainstream media. After that, so coming up next month, we have some really cool guests. Jennifer Lee is going to be actually joining us on the 8th. Good morning, Anita. If you tuned into No Agenda on Monday with Mike and Jen, that's who I'm talking about. She's also a psychic medium, but she works in forensic mediumship, which is a passion of mine within this platform. That's one way I really like to look to use my abilities to help. And so it's a very fascinating topic. I hope you guys will tune in for the forensic mediumship discussion. And then we have Kim Coots coming up on the 15th. Good morning, Crystal. And she is also a psychic medium, and she's going to come in and talk to us about her journey and some resources for you guys. So that's kind of what we have coming up. All right. And I see, good morning, Gina. Thank you for tuning in. Some people posting questions. This is not actually a reading show. I'm not doing readings occasionally. Last week, I believe it was, we did a reading show. But today I am here just to answer questions. And when I say questions, I'm talking about, what is life like on the other side of the veil? How or what are signs that we have people around us that may have transitioned? Do you believe in other dimensions? Do you believe in parallel lives, which was a fascinating conversation we had a couple weeks ago with Kelly Wagner. So that's what we're looking at today. That's what we're talking about today. And now I want to talk to you about intuition and trusting intuition. When you're looking at anything, right? So not just what we call abilities. Some people call gifts. Not just that, but anything, a profession, relationships with people, anything like that. You have to build that, right? You can't just say, I'm going to be a plumber and put no focus into building your skill set and being a plumber. It's all building, it's all trusting knowledge, it's all gaining knowledge. There are things that we are more innate to do. Some people are very mechanical, some people are very poetic writers. So we all have these different abilities that we have to build, but we have to learn to trust that skill set, right? And so how do we do that? That's what we're going to be talking about. How do we build that skill set? And there's a lot of great different tools that you can use. I like to use dowsing rods. Some people use cards. I work with a pendulum. That's great, and you could pick it up. You can pick up dowsing rods right now and try to work with them. But do you have that relationship? Do you have that relationship with that tool that you are using to trust the information? And, some of you who may actually have taken the class with Ellie and I, when we did the divination class, we talked about how you build that relationship and how you separate your own emotion. Because if you put in your own emotion while using dowsing rods, you can offset the actual energy because you're putting your energy into that tool. So we are going to come back to that topic because I actually have today, I thought it would be really fun as we talk about working with our abilities, working on things, is to talk about Zener cards and do a little experiment with you guys. So if you want to be my guinea pigs and you want to play around with the Zener cards, don't go anywhere because we are going to come back to that. So we have a really good question, and actually it's from Todd. He says, I want to know if you can turn it on and off and how. Good morning, Michael. Thank you for tuning in. So one thing that I noticed for a long time, I couldn't do both. It was either on or it was off. And I didn't have the ability to, like now, if I'm going to sit down with a client, I sit down, I can tune in, I can connect to spirit. When I am done giving that reading or giving that message, I can say, okay, thank you. And I can separate and I can go back to everyday life. That takes a lot of practice. At least it did for me. Learning to not being open all the time, learning, people might call it bubbling up, setting your boundaries, but that looks different for everybody. And so for me, it's really kind of like punching a time card, but making sure that I allow time for spirit, because I did find when I constantly was shut down, spirit would find me in times where I wasn't in that control, right? So sleeping, I was in a weakened state of control. In the shower, actually, which sounds silly, but all my defenses would be down. If I would go out with friends and want to enjoy a couple of drinks, they would bombard me because I wasn't able to have that control. And so now, yes, I almost in the beginning pictured it like opening and closing curtains, turning on and off a light switch. But there are different techniques. You just got to find what works for you. And you also have to trust when you think that you are shut down, right? Like right now, I'm kind of in between because I want to be connected with spirit so that we can give you the best messages. And so I've also found a way to kind of be open and aware without fully being open, right? Because I don't want everybody who's coming up in the chat and having comments, all their loved ones standing in this room, because that would just be a lot. That's like setting boundaries. I'm like, okay, spirit, I'm open for this. I'm open for you to come in with information, come in to help support the viewers, give them things they want to hear. But I'm not completely open that I'm doing a gallery reading and I'm looking for loved ones to come in and talk to me. So I hope that makes sense. That was kind of a long answer. Good morning, everybody tuning in. I know I've been missing some of you popping in and saying good morning. I really appreciate you being here. Michelle, she says, I've been told by several people that I'm intuitive, but I don't feel particularly intuitive. I like this because I think all of us are intuitive. I don't care who you are. I'm sorry, my hair is driving me crazy today, guys. I'm sorry. We're all intuitive. We all have had moments of that intuitive clarity, thinking, oh, I'm going to grab a hoodie today. And you can say, you know what? I grabbed a hoodie today because the weather said it might be a little chilly. Right? Or did you just intuitively pick up on that? Intuitiveness is a lot of information, seen, unseen, felt on so many different energetic levels coming into you at one time, and your body's perception of those. So a lot of times I think people look at, well, if I'm intuitive, I have to have these huge abilities, or I have to work within these huge abilities. No, it's really being aware, right? Intuitiveness is really being aware, and awareness on different levels. So, one thing, Michelle, that I wonder is, do you find yourself, maybe you're thinking about somebody and the phone might ring, or you might get a text message and it's that person. Maybe this happens to me a lot. I'll be thinking about a song that I haven't heard in a long time, and the song will come on the radio. Different things like that are all part of intuitiveness. And one way to build that intuitiveness, good morning, Mom. My mom's watching, guys. Good morning. Is to make sure that you are allowing yourself to come in and understand those perceptions and not explaining it away, right? So when we talk about these Zener cards, I think that would be something really good that you might want to try and practice with, and test and build your intuitiveness. That's the important thing. Just like plumbers go to school, test your intuitiveness. Okay. These are great questions, guys. I really appreciate the questions today. Angela says, what is your take on dreams? Are they real and occurring in the spirit realm? Sometimes I have ones I'd rather forget and try to dismiss them just as a dream. I like this. And so this is just my perception on dreams is they may not all be what we call real, right? But they are all there for a reason. And so what I have found is some dreams I do feel are visits, where I'll have somebody who has transitioned come through, and they're in my dream, and we get to connect and we get to have conversations. I feel that those are visits. Those are you really getting to connect with that loved one, with that person that has transitioned. I also feel that there are times when we might have more negative dreams where, like you're saying, ones you rather forget. And what's interesting is the other day I had actually quite an unpleasant dream that had to do with more paranormal things and unpleasant aspects of the paranormal. And what I got out of that, though, was when I had woken up, I contacted Ellie and I said, hey, I think something's going to be coming up, with CAPS. I think, they're going to have something coming up. And a couple of days later, they actually did. And so even in the unpleasantness, I feel like there is information for us to receive. So what information are we trying to receive out of it? I'll have people who will say, I had a dream that my spouse was cheating on me and I was very upset. Sometimes when we're having dreams, so is that dream, then you got to look at, is that dream trying to help you work through an insecurity, something that you maybe are worried about happening in your relationship? Or how does it resonate differently? Is it something where maybe there have been red flags going on, and in different perceptions, you didn't see those, but as you're sleeping, your higher self, your body is helping you work those out. So it's really up to the dreamer how you are going to take that information. How are you going to piece it together? It's like pieces of a puzzle. So I hope that makes sense. But that is my take on that. Okay. And let's see. No, Crystal, you do not need to retype your question. This actually just is not that kind of show today. So I'm just answering other types of questions today. All right. And I know I saw another question pop up. Oh, Michael, it wasn't a question, but Michael says, I agree, Steph. We are born with the ability to connect with spirit and other people's energies. It's a matter of understanding the process and trusting what you receive. And that's a great way to put it in a nutshell, Michael. Thank you for that. Okay. Therese, I like this. You say, I feel a swirling feeling in my bedroom that feels like I just got off a merry-go-round. Is it a vortex? So what I find interesting is sometimes when you look up vortexes, portals, gateways, you'll see, good morning, Courtney, thank you for tuning in. You will see that some people think these are all the same or feel that they're all the same. For me, a lot of times they feel different. It feels like different openings to different things. When I kind of try to tune into that feeling that you have, I do feel like it's through your main space. And I do feel like it takes up quite a bit of the room, but not quite centered within that room, if that makes sense. And I feel like it's when you're coming in the doorway. And I almost feel like there's an L shape. So I don't know if it's like a doorway and then a closet, or why I'm feeling like there's this L shape that has you walking through that. And I do feel like I wouldn't call it a vortex. I would call it a portal, because to me, when I feel portals, I feel the swirling. I also feel like that you may have some, I don't want to say uncomfortable feelings, but maybe some things where you're kind of a little like looking around a little bit more, a little bit of an uneasiness. Okay, thank you. True, a closet and around a dresser, and I thought a portal too. Okay, so I feel like this is probably a portal that belongs there, but sometimes there's shifts in energy that shift the way portals flow. A healthy portal and healthy energy runs clockwise. Okay, and I feel like this one, which is weird because I've never felt this before, is a lot of times when you'll come into a portal, I feel like the negative portals, they'll go counterclockwise. But I almost feel like when I look at this one, it zigzags. So I feel like it's trying to self-correct, but then gets pushed back. So it's like a zigzag of energy. And I feel like static energy in there. I'm actually seeing like the lines. Remember cable TV, guys, when you got the lines in the TV? I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm old. Cable TV, when the stuff was going out, that's what I'm seeing. And I think that could be something that could be easily adjusted. If you actually find a way to contact me, either on Facebook or email, and that's something that we could look at and get taken care of very easily. Okay. No, I don't feel that it's bad either, Teresa. I just feel like it is in flux, if that makes sense. But I do feel like if you don't help it to right, then you could have some more interesting, not so fun things going on. So just something important to pay attention to, or like I said, reach out and I can help you get that adjusted. So thank you for the questions. I love them. You're welcome. Okay, so now we're going to take a quick station break. I will keep an eye out for any more comments, but when we come back, I want to do the fun little Zener card experiment, testing and helping you guys test some of your own abilities at home and letting you know where you can find these to work on them yourself. So we will see you all back in just a moment.
The Body Code is a revolutionary method of energetic healing developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson, which allows us to quickly and easily identify specific imbalances that seem to underline chronic ill health, acute and chronic pain, and discomfort, dysfunction, and stress. Ellie energetically connects with the subconscious of the client. Psychic medium Ellie Weisensell is a medical intuitive and energy healer, and a certified body code practitioner. She identifies and clears energetic imbalances within the body and energy field. Contact Ellie at the website below, and Ellie can work remotely from a distance, by phone, online, video chat. There's no need to travel to an office. Remember, the body code is safe for humans and animals. Contact Ellie today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Chat with Charlie show. It is 22 past the hour, and you are probably listening in a variety of places, but you can also always find us on WLTK-DB Let's Talk Radio. So very happy that you guys tune in. I appreciate you guys always for supporting the platform and for your questions, for letting me do what I am here to do and try to help shine some light and answer some questions, because I want everybody to feel supported in this area. It can be a very taboo area. It can be a scary area if you do not have support. And that's why I'm here. All right. So Zener cards. These are super cool. Maybe some of you have heard of them. Maybe some of you have not. You can actually download an app for the Zener cards for your phone. So if you want to, you're sitting in the school pickup line and waiting to pick your kids up from school and you want to work on building your intuition, you can download it right on your phone and do that. Or you can buy the deck. I actually have both. And so this is the Zener cards. I picked mine up on Amazon just because I live in the middle of nowhere, like many of you know, and things like that are really not found anywhere here. So I have to travel, to find cool stuff like that, like down to Soul and Synergy in Eau Claire. So if you guys live in that area, check them out. They've got a lot of cool stuff. And there's other places, but that just happens to be where I frequent. So I want to show you guys with these cards. And, the best thing is to just try to relax your mind, to clear your mind, and go through them quickly. First impressions, right? First impressions. What I like about the app is sometimes for me, shapes, and I'll show you guys, like the star and the plus sign will kind of come in for me looking very similar. So on the app, they actually give you other options. You can do colors, you can do some scenery. So, depending on what you're building, if you're looking, remote viewing, those kinds of things, this is really just a good way to sit down, have some fun, and work on your intuition. So with the deck, there are 5 different shapes that come with the deck that I got. And this is what they look at. So for you that are going to play along at home, I want you guys to look at these shapes. Okay. So you have a star. Okay. This is what the back looks like of all of them. So a star, a plus sign, a circle, a square, and squiggly lines. Okay. And so there's lots of ways you can practice with yourself. If you want to practice with a partner, let's say, Todd's backstage and him and I are doing cards together and he's looking at this card and he's focusing on it. I can try and connect in with his energy to see what card he's looking at, to kind of see, not necessarily see through their eyes, but to connect to see what they are looking at. So lots of different ways to utilize these, but they're a lot of fun. So what we're going to do, we're only going to do 3 cards at first. I'm just going to hold it up. I'll give you guys a couple seconds to see what you think it is, and then I will show you. And then what I want you guys to do, because one thing that happens, especially when you are just starting to build your abilities, right? Like you can pick up this card and be like, oh, I think it's a square, and oh, it's a square. Sorry, guys. Okay. You can be like, oh, I think it's a circle, and it's a plus sign. And then you're going to be like, oh man, my abilities suck. Why am I doing this? And you will discourage yourself. So what we are going to do, I know that was kind of funny, right, Courtney? I was like trying to get it wrong and I got it right. So I looked at this card to make sure I got it wrong. But what you want to do, so after we do these first 3, you don't suck at them, Michael. Shush, you just got to practice more. I'm going to hold it up for a few seconds. You're going to tell me what shape you think it is, and I will show you right away. After that, we're going to do Let's do 10. We'll do 10 cards after that, but I want you all to have a piece of paper and a pen and write down 1 through 10 and draw the shape, because I'm not going to tell you until the end what it actually is. Okay, because I don't want you to doubt yourselves. And then we will see what you get out of 10. Okay, because sometimes even for me, especially if I'm holding the deck, I'll say squiggly line, and the one I pick up isn't a squiggly line, but the next one is. And so it's just connecting, right? Don't judge yourself. Have fun with it. Diana, you don't suck at them either. You guys, stop. I know you guys. They have fantastic abilities. Look at them, naysayers. All right. These are the first 3. Yes, they are all shapes, Courtney. So I'll show you guys the shapes again. It could be a star. It could be a plus sign or cross, whatever you want to call it. A circle. A square. Or squiggly lines. All right. Those are your options. All right. Card number 1. What do you guys think it is? Card number 1. Give you a couple seconds. Take a couple deep breaths. Relax. You guys are stressing. It's a game. Stop stressing. I feel the stress. It's supposed to be fun. All right. Here you go. It was a star. Okay. Star. Card number 2 for our practice. Card number 2. What do you guys think it is? I feel like some of you guys are lightening up a little bit. Some of you are like, crap, I got it wrong. Some of you are like, holy crap, I got it right. What about this one? It was a cross. It was a cross. All right. And the last practice one. Don't be afraid. Put your comments up there. What do you think this is? What do you think this is? What shape? What shape do you think it is? And this reminds me of Ghostbusters. Have you guys seen the original Ghostbusters? In the beginning with the shock therapy, this is the game that they're playing. This is the game that they're playing. So, okay, second one is a circle. It was a circle. All right. Now that you know, that's okay if you picked them wrong. Because this is about, you're going to be wrong. I'm wrong. I don't always get these right. And you guys come on here to watch me. I have never gone through these and gotten all of the cards right, ever. When that happens, I'll probably die because it doesn't happen. But you'll get there, okay? So I'm gonna give these one more shuffle. 10 cards, okay? And we're gonna do like 3 seconds in between. And you guys write these down. No cheating. Write them down. All right. C, D, C. All right. Here's the first card. And I'll look at the card. You can connect with me. You can connect with the card. You can connect wherever you want. So, okay, first card. I wish we had some like Jeopardy music because that would be really appropriate right now. Okay, first card. That was card 1. Card 2. Card number 2. Come on, guys. Trust. Take a deep breath. Relax. It's supposed to be fun. It's not like we got $1 million on the line. Card number 3. Card number 3. If I'm going too fast, you guys let me know. Yell at me. Card number 4. Card number 4. And I love the comments. Some of you are saying you got some right, you got some wrong. Thank you, Todd. He put a link up there for Amazon if you want the deck, where you can find it. Card number 5. Well, yes, card number 5. Ooh, thank you, Mom. Mom said, do, 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 do. Telling you it'd be perfect. Card number 6. Card number 7. And the more you work with these guys, trust me, you will get better because you're going to learn to trust. That's what this is about. Card number 8. This is about building trust. It's up there with your meditating. It's up there with your self-talk. Playing the game. What's the next song going to be that comes on the radio? Card 9. I hope you guys are having fun with this. I hope you're having fun with this. And the last card, card number 10. Card number 10. All right. Now, take a deep breath. That was supposed to be fun. Don't be freaking out over there. Okay? Don't be freaking out. You missed one. Uh-oh. All right. Well, I don't know which one you missed, but we'll figure it out. All right, Courtney, we'll figure it out. All right. I just want to make sure there were 10. All right. Do you know which card number you missed, Courtney? Did you write them down? Do you know which one you missed? All right. I'll watch for Courtney to say that, and I can always pop it up. All right. Card number 1. Card 9. You missed card 9. Okay. This is card 9, Courtney. Card 9. Okay. Here we go. All right, Angela. I will hold them up before I flip them over because I see some of you others had missed some, but I only got like 7 more minutes, guys, and I got to run. So sorry, it's a short show today. Card number 1. If you picked a star, congratulations. Card number 2. I feel the tension building. Was a square. It was a square. Mark down. I want to know what you guys get. Just like agreed. 10 out of 10, 6 out of 10. I don't know what you guys got. It's card number 3. If you put down a cross. You put down a cross. Oh, Courtney. No 0. No 0 out of 9. All right, guys. What card number are we on? I'm talking and I can't count at the same time. Card number 4. Card number 4. Diana, you kill me. Circle. Card number 5. Card number 5 was a cross. That's okay. This was just a fun experiment. No shock therapy involved. Just something fun, to talk about today. Zener cards don't really get talked about a lot. I want you guys to know that it was out there as an option. Okay. Got 4 more cards to go, guys. 4 more cards to go. And you might be realizing, okay, this one you didn't have a cross, but you had a star. And that's as you work with these, then you can say to Spirit, I'm having a hard time with the star and differentiating between the star and the cross. Can you make my lines a little bit crisper? Can you give me a way to differentiate? That all comes with building your ability. That all comes with building your ability. Last two cards. And all right, how'd you guys do? What do you think of that? This really is a great way to build your skill set. It's a great way to build your trust. And I know, like I said, do not get discouraged. There are times when it will feel a little bit discouraging. You just got to build on that relationship, right? We didn't learn to go from crawling to running in one day. We had to build trust with our legs. We had to build trust with our bodies. That's what this is about. 2 out of 10 really isn't bad, Jaded. When you go on, and you guys can do more research, but it will give you a breakdown of ability rankings. And I do guarantee the more you guys work with these, the better you will get, the more you will feel connected. And that's like anything. I sucked. Not a single correct answer. Oh my goodness, Michael. Really? I don't believe that. I don't believe that. So, and you guys, I hope you all tuned into No Agenda on Monday with Michael and Jen. They're hysterical. Okay, we're going to pull 3 cards for inspiration for the week. And I'm going to stick with my soul cards. I'm going to use deck number 2. Good morning, Jennifer. And we're going to go with those. So 3 cards. And I'm actually going to pull off the top, which is something I rarely do. Yeah, and Angela, that happens to me too. I'll be like bam, 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 and I'll start getting them right. And especially when I use my phone app, because I'll see it and I'm like, oh yeah, look it, I got these right. And then, the next 15, I don't get any right. And I'm like, why do I do this? Why would anybody come to me for information? So it's just a building process. You guys are awesome. All right. First card. This is interesting. And these are a little explicit. So I will try to cover up the naked part for everybody. But if you look at this picture, okay, and I feel this picture in 2 ways. I'm so glad you guys had fun with that. There's somebody underwater, they're submerged, they're reaching out. And I feel like for some of you, this is coming in as you're reaching out for what you feel could be like your last hope. You're hanging on to that last thread, and you're hoping somebody's going to, somebody in that boat's going to cast you a line. Somebody in that boat is going to help you. And I feel like this is an indication of help is coming in some form or another. What you're struggling with right now, help is coming. But, they're reaching up out of the water, right? So yeah, you're reaching up, you're saying, I want help, but guess what? You can swim too, right? So you're not just reliant on this help coming to you. Know that help is there for you, but also know you can tread water. You can get your butt up and out of that water. Okay? So work and continue making that progress that you're helping yourself with, and also be willing to accept help from others, because the help is there. Okay? It's just above the surface, and I feel like this is a perspective thing. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. Oh, I like this card. So when I look at this card, I just love these cards, guys, and really they come with a no book, no explanation. It's all intuitive. And when I look at this card, I feel like this is a reminder of the love that's all around us, of the love that maybe we don't always see, right? When I look at like my husband and I's relationship, my husband shows me he loves me by helping with dinner, by building the 800th garden I've asked him to put in, things like that. And I think in society, right, we look at things like, oh my gosh, he doesn't love me. He didn't buy me this awesome diamond necklace, wherever, whatever. But it's looking at the obvious love. It's looking at the love in the small moments, in the little things that really accumulate. They accumulate over a lifetime. They accumulate over days and minutes and hours. So be aware and accepting and allow, right? They're receiving, they're reaching out into this love, and they are receiving this love. Let yourself receive this love. Let yourself receive the love in all the little moments, okay? It's not always a Rapunzel story of having to throw your hair down and everything being romanticized. Love is so simple, and we make it so difficult. So let yourself enjoy the simplicity and accept that love into your life. And the last card. Oh, this one's interesting. And so what's interesting about these cards, and if you guys ever work with them, is what you are drawn to, right? Because there is so much that goes on in all of these cards. And when I look at this card in the reading, and you can't quite see the vividness of the colors, I am drawn to the face, right? The look on the face. To me, it's kind of a look of confusion. It's a look of looking at the bigger picture. And here, where you guys can't see that, it's bright yellow, kind of swirling. And I feel like if card number 3 was the card you resonated with, right now you're in a process of trying to work things out, confusion. Maybe the path isn't clear, and that's where that confusion is coming in. But I feel like this card is indicative of that knowledge starting to come in, right? That knowledge is swirling around you. That knowledge is starting to come in. And I feel like you're going to see a change, and you're going to start seeing a shift in your understanding of things and in your approach. I hear that the approach is very important. So I hope that makes sense, because that's what they're focusing on, the approach. Okay. So those are the 3 cards for today. I really appreciate you guys all tuning in today. It's been awesome sitting down. And again, I apologize. The show is going to be a couple minutes short today, but I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something new with the Zener cards. I hope you just had fun, right? Trusting yourself, letting go, connecting with spirit. I hope to see you all tonight. Remember the debut episode of The Universe with psychic medium Rob Thompson and myself. Which app do I use? Gina, that is a great question. And if you can all stand by with me for a second, I will look and I will pull up the app and I can tell you, because I want to tell you the right thing. And the app that I use is lost in my apps. Is right here. Okay. And it is, I'll cover up some of my other apps. So it's this top one, and you can kind of see it. It's next to the Bixby one. It looks like a checkerboard, and it's called Are You Psychic? Okay. And you guys, you'll go in there. I just use the free version, which is awesome. And you go into options, and you can set it. If you don't want to start with 5 cards, you can do 2. You can do 3. You can do numbers, colors, scenery. So there's a lot more options with this than the traditional Zener cards, which is what I use. But either way, continue to work on you, continue to work on your intuition, and allow yourself to connect. Allow yourself to connect to your higher self. Allow yourself to connect to spirit. I will see you guys tonight on The Universe, and I will see you next Thursday with Ellie in the mix. Have a good week, everybody.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.